Hey everybody, welcome to Analog Stick Radio, episode 17. I am your host, Mitch, and as always, I'm joined by my two favorite people in the entire world. Over to my left, I have Christopher, the man with the plan and the banana.
Yeah, we got a banana.
And down below me, I have the man with no banana, but a Christmas tree still standing tall, Dakota.
That's me.
That sounds super dirty.
Yeah. Guys, let's talk games. What did we play this week, Christopher?
What did we play? Well, this week was holiday week, so I didn't. I played StarCraft, Legacy of the Void, single player.
Okay.
Really good. I'm not gonna talk about storyline, but I like the way the story's set up. I really liked it the first 75% of the way through. The last little bit, I was like, but now I'm at the very, 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 very end, and I'm like, okay, I see how they're wrapping it up, and I'm back on board with it. I don't want to say anything without giving it away, but I like the way that they're wrapping it up. It's pretty interesting.
Wow, they had you out on the ledge there for a minute there?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is like one of my top 5 games. Why did I put that up here? But then they ended it, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay, it's fine.
Wow.
Nice. Dakota, what about you? What did we play this week? What was the standout?
The standout for me this week had to have been Duck Game. You know, I mentioned it briefly last week. Obviously, the meta bet for our punishment was to play it with some restrictions. That game is so phenomenal, man. My throat hurts very badly just from laughing in the last 2 hours that we were playing, and I can't wait to play more. That game is if you like a quick in and out multiplayer experience, just utter joy, just laughing nonstop. The game is totally fan service, right? There are levels. The game is a PvP combat game, but then there are some levels where it's hard to kill each other because they don't even give you the tools, right? The net gun levels are my favorite. Any level with a net gun is pretty fantastic. Yeah, and then there's the level where there's just a drum set and a bunch of instruments, and you jam out with people, and then it's like, who's going to be the asshole that goes and grabs the flamethrower, right? That game is...
Yeah, that was me one time. I was that asshole.
I love the way how fast-paced it is. It reminds me of... I was saying... nothing else but the gameplay feel. It reminds me of a Hotline Miami. How you're instantly shooting and you're instantly dead and just rushing around shooting somebody real quick. I love it's so fast paced.
Yeah, it shares a lot too with throwing weapons also in Hotline Miami and in this game too, and it feels good. It's a great game. What about you, Mitch? What'd you play?
I have a tragic tale that I'm going to share with you guys.
Oh, no.
So after last week, Chris talked up Undertale quite a bit. And I decided, since I have the game and I had played about a half hour of it, I said, let's go down this road. So I played about 12 hours of this game over the course of the week, and I was enjoying the shit out of it. Very, very incredible game. Chris has informed me that I was very close to the end when my power surged and my save file vanished out of nowhere. And apparently this is a common thing. I looked it up, and it's a very, very common thing.
With what? Undertale specifically?
I don't know. It's got something to do with the way that it's saved or something, but yeah.
Oh, no.
So I lost my entire save file. There's a way that I can recreate a file similar to it.
Like they have them out on the internet
I have to
download?
Yeah, there's a thing called Flowey's time chamber or something, and then you can
I did,
but you have to remember all of the things you did, and I was like, I don't remember what choices I made.
That's a game with multiple endings based on choice.
Yeah, there's a game. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of choices you make, and each choice kind of influences the end. I assume. I don't actually know.
I did something similar.
So I have to
for Mass Effect.
I have to go back and replay it.
I had it on my Xbox 360, and I wanted to play Mass Effect 2 on my PC. Because I didn't get it on my I got it on Steam sale for $5. So I went onto one of those websites and I created a save file with all the stuff I remember from the first game because I couldn't shove my Xbox into my computer as much as I tried.
Right.
But
that's why PS4 is better. You can shove your PS4 into a computer.
What? I don't.
I mean you can. I've tried. You can. It works. But yeah, so I'm gonna replay Undertale. Not excited about it, but I will be replaying it.
What? Why are you
but yeah, that's what I
excited
played this week.
It's
so.
great.
You can make different decisions too. That's the.
But I didn't get to see what my initial decisions, how they worked out, so I have no idea what happens.
Finishing and seeing the fruits of your labor. That's true.
Exactly.
That's true. I need to play it in the first place.
But it was a great game. It's honestly, if you've never played Undertale, definitely go pick it up. I got to the dog wedding sign, Chris. Fantastic. There's a couple other like little gems that are amazing.
Yeah.
Just the game is amazing. The game is very, very good. There's one little thing I would like to point out. When you try to sell something to a vendor, it's like what do you think this is? Do you think I'm going to make my living buying dirty bandages and broken swords? And I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
That's great.
So that was like just little things like that, where things that you normally take for granted in an RPG, they kind of like make fun of it satirically, so I like it. But let's move on to the main topic, because we have a lot to talk about today. All right. Today's main topic, we figure it's the first episode of 2016. 16, yeah. So we decided we were going to discuss the most... This is our first episode of 2016. We're going to be discussing... we're going to be discussing the most anticipated games of 2016. Now, we're going to kind of break them down in a little bit of a different way, and this is going to be a great, podcast for you if you don't know the release dates of some of these games you've been looking forward to. So... we're going to kind of give you some release dates of these games, break them all down. But guys, let's talk about the big one, at least for me and Dakota.
Yeah.
Let's start off with a really, 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 really good game, Uncharted 4, Thief's End, coming out April 26th on the PS4.
Yeah. Only recently delayed until the 26th, in fact. I think it was, within the week, I think Neil Druckmann came out. And it's funny, he tweeted... For a while, there was this a host of another podcast, Colin Moriarty of Kind of Funny Games, and he's been saying for a long time that game is not going to be ready by its release date for the longest time. And even at PlayStation Experience, Neil Druckmann, the producer of the game, said, "We're going to try to make it, Colin. We're going to try to make it." And then when he announced that they weren't going to make it, he tweeted it, and his follow-up tweet was #Colin was right. So it's cool that he tipped his hat and acknowledged the fact that the kid called it, but that doesn't matter. I mean, April 26th is not very long off anyway. So stoked for this game. Naughty Dog has just killed it with the series and The Last of Us 2. So I'm jazzed, dude.
What parts?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Looking forward to the most.
Go ahead.
Like, what part? Like, do you like the story? Is it just the storyline? Like, I know it looks like, action-y, Indiana Jonesy. I've never played it. Or do you want to hit the multiplayer? Like, doesn't it have a good multiplayer? Does it have a multiplayer?
Mitch, what are you most excited about?
Dude, I'm just excited to see. I've been noticing in trying to play Uncharted 1 and like just hating every second of that, and then trying to play, and starting to play Uncharted 2, I've been really, really excited just to see the progression. I'm excited to play Uncharted 3, but more importantly, I'm excited to just have another Uncharted game to play. It's the storyline, yes, but it's the gameplay. Like, the gameplay is amazing, and it seems like from playing 1 and then playing 2, they up the gameplay every single time by like a large margin.
Yeah.
They like add something in that like wasn't in there before. Or they just improve it by leaps and bounds, and they make it feel more realistic. Like this crazy, action-y, choice-dependent game. Not just like in the choices you make in the game, but like, I guess like where you go and where you stand and how you decide to fight. There's like a bunch of different ways. I love it. It's an incredible, incredible game.
Yeah, for me, it's not even the gameplay so much, and not necessarily the story either. Like, I don't really care what happens to Sully or Nathan or his brother. Honestly, I don't really care. But I do admire how much the studio puts into the production of the game. Like, it's just very, very well made. It looks gorgeous. It feels great. Third-person shooters don't, like, light me on fire or anything. I'm not, super stoked to play another third-person shooter. But it's very competent. It's a very good first-person shooter. And most of all, it makes you feel a way. Like, it makes you feel like you are the hero of some sweet action movie or action-adventure movie. Yeah. It really does give you that Indiana Jones feeling.
But without feeling too Indiana Jones, like too
it's not
forced,
like,
right?
It doesn't
it
feel
does a good
like
job.
It doesn't feel like they're copying Indiana Jones in a bad way, right? It's not like, he's Indiana Jones with a different name. He's Nathan Drake, and he's got his own badassery that you kind of get to live in vicariously.
Yeah. Well, I just picked the Indiana Jones. Like, I feel that explorer kind of vibe and world isn't really touched too often in games as much as, I mean, you have Tomb Raider and
Right.
I mean, what else? You have Uncharted, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, they said that when it first came out, it really was kind of following in Tomb Raider's footsteps, and then Tomb Raider got rebooted and borrows a lot from the Nathan Drake series, so it really is kind of cyclical in that way.
That's cool.
But you
But
mentioned
they seem to be the only ones doing it.
they kind of are, yeah. You mentioned that they are one of the few games to work in that kind of genre space, but what I want to know is at least Mitch and Chris too chime in. I know you haven't played the games, but this is the last one. No, after Uncharted 4, no more Uncharted. It's the last Uncharted game featuring Nathan Drake, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I think that there's a Last of Us 2 in the pipeline, which I have my own feelings about, but what else do you want to see Naughty Dog do? They've done like action-y adventure. They've done horror now with The Last of Us. What do you think would be a sweet like genre or kind of medium for them to cover?
Let's make a MOBA.
A MOBA.
Yeah! We don't have enough MOBAs.
No
Give us more
MOBAs,
MOBAs.
please.
No, it would be
More like
cool
setting.
to see them do. It would be cool to see them do like an intergalactic themed.
Yeah, like a space one.
You know, because of the attention to detail that they put into these games. I think
Right.
that's what you were kind of trying to get at.
Yeah,
There's so much detail put in these games. It's insane. And so if they did one like that's more of like an intergalactic thing with some alien type things and flying and stuff,
Right.
I really think that game would be incredible.
You know what I feel would be cool if they went into if they kind of kept their games more grounded like they did. Maybe go into like a Western theme.
Western would be
almost like
sweet.
Red Dead Redemption, kind of do like a train hijacking or something.
Sure.
I think that'd be a cool game.
I love Red Dead, man. Red Dead Redemption was. I want Rockstar. I want Rockstar to do Red Dead again. I think they are
there's
doing
some
Red
rumors. I don't know if it's rumors or but they're going to announce it this year. That's what everybody's saying. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I would love to see Rockstar definitely do Red Dead or Naughty Dog too. I also think maybe it would be sweet if they did maybe a superhero thing. I'm kind of like a genre nerd.
Ooh,
That'd be cool.
That would be good.
Rocksteady's kind of
there
got
haven't
that
been very
unlocked
many
with
good
the Batman
superhero
games
games.
too. But yeah, Rocksteady's Batman games are kind of the only good superhero games. That and Infamous, which was an original superhero IP for PlayStation.
The old Spider-Mans were pretty good. They were kind of open worldy and
some of them were good and some of them were not.
couple of them.
The first few were really good.
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, either that or maybe like a noir setting, like a kind of what was that one game that Rockstar did where you were investigating murders in like the 60s or something?
What was that
50s,
called?
40s, 30s.
L.A. Noir.
L.A. Noir. Oh,
It's
shit,
L.A.
it's got
Noir. Yeah, I was
in the
like,
fucking title.
I feel like
Hello?
I feel like if it was L.A. Noir, they would have said it when they said noir. But
Yeah, but that sort of setting I think might be sweet for Naughty Dog to cover too, because they just do story and experience so well.
Yeah, that'd be good. Like I said, keep it grounded. I feel like that would be a cool setting too.
Yeah.
What other single player games are you guys looking out for coming this year? I'm really looking forward to Dishonored 2. I played the first one.
Yep.
Did you guys play the first one?
I did.
No.
I loved Dishonored. Loved.
Really like the way I really like the world building they did. It felt
Yes!
like a bizarro
Yes!
Half-Life almost.
It was beautiful.
It was gorgeous. It felt so lived in.
It felt real, right?
Yeah. Like
Every little thing they did to like further that, like you would just find books about the whaling culture and how they use blubber for things, and it's like totally unnecessary from a gaming point of view, right? But it definitely seeped you in that world.
Yeah.
yeah.
I really
No release date for that one yet, but that one will be coming out on the PC, the PS4, and Xbox One.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on all the consoles, pretty good. What about Chris? This is one that I know that you're excited about. Dark Souls 3.
Yes.
Aren't you a Dark Souls fan? Yeah, Dark Souls 3 coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One April 12th, so around the same time as Uncharted.
I'm looking forward to that. I played the first one. I did not play the second one because I heard mixed reviews. I heard they're trying to get it more actiony. I don't know about it, but it just didn't look like it looked more sequel-y to me. Like they were trying to cash in on the Dark Souls name. But I heard, didn't they do Bloodborne? The same studio?
Yeah, it's the same people.
Yeah.
Bloodborne's
So I feel like
basically
I think
a
they're going
sequel.
back to their roots after branching out a little bit, and so I'm looking forward to this third one.
You mentioned
That
that
Dark Souls is not a Mitch game, so I have no comments.
Yeah, I didn't play it, and I probably won't play it. I admire it, and I definitely admire that studio has embraced hard games again. Like, we don't have enough hard games, in my opinion. Games
hell yeah.
used to have to earn a game win, and it's no longer the case. And I like that there are still some games out there that serve the people that want to be challenged in order to see the you win, game over kind of thing.
Yeah.
Chris, you mentioned, though, that Dark Souls 2 felt kind of like they were just trying to cash in on the sequel. What do you think a sequel needs to do in order to stand on its own two legs?
For at least the Dark Souls, I think it needs to... The thing about the first one was how bizarre the whole world felt. You really felt like I played the game and I had no idea what was happening even after I beat the game. Like, I beat the game and I'm like, I just knew that I went around and got sweet armor and giant ass swords and beat these monsters, and like, I don't know what happened afterwards. So I really love that mystery. I wish... It's hard to recapture the mystery of your first time, right? Like, sure. I don't know how they're going to do that. Yeah, I know. I don't know how. I don't know. For the second one, for the third one, I'd like to see the combat system. To me, it made it difficult in that you had to I don't know if you guys played it. You had to do a lot of dodging. Yeah. It felt like a lot of slow-paced almost fights, because I played a big guy with a giant sword too. But you had to time everything, and it made it difficult and methodical, the fights. Mm-hmm. If they were able to just keep that same feeling of methodical, but pump up the gameplay so it feels more fluid. I want more fluid gameplay. I want something that doesn't feel like, oh, hey, we're going back to this place that people have explored now and know what they're talking about. I still probably don't know what's going on in the world. But that's what I'd like to see. I'd like more fluid and just a mystery, not like a sequel-y, hey, remember this thing from the first game? Well, here's a thing that was a piece of the first thing. Like, I don't care about that.
Yeah, I see.
Right, so, like, let's think about it more in terms of, like, a sequel overall, not just like a sequel to Dark Souls. Like, what in general does a sequel have to do to stand out? Because that's kind of like something that you fall into with, like, for example, StarCraft 2. That literally felt just like StarCraft with better graphics. Like, it was like the same fucking game. They did almost nothing but add like new units and make it look prettier. And that's, I think, the reason that I wasn't as excited about StarCraft 2 after we like destroyed the beta. I was playing it and I was like, oh, so this is literally just StarCraft, but like with different units. Whereas like playing Uncharted 1 and then playing Uncharted 2, they definitely did a lot of different things there. First of all, like the graphics were better, and the encounters seemed different. They seemed more learned. They seemed more intelligently written rather than just like, here's some dudes, shoot them. So for me, that's what they need to do. They need to completely just change the whole dynamic of the game, in my opinion. So, all right, so let's move on. Let's talk about actually some of the other games coming out. We have Far Cry Primal coming out, PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah,
that's coming out February 23rd. That's real soon.
It's real soon. I didn't realize how soon it was.
Yeah,
I'm
Are you guys fans
stoked.
of the Far Cry series?
Yeah, I'm fan of. Not only am I a fan of Far Cry. Far Cry 3 was awesome. Far Cry 4 was almost as awesome. But even awesomer than both of those was Ark Survival Evolved, and Far Cry Primal is like Far Cry Ark Survival Evolved. So I'm extremely stoked.
I thought that was really interesting how they kind of took that. I don't know. It seems like a lot of these AAA games are finally looking at what's popular in the indie space, and taking those ideas and running with them. Like a Far Cry the only Far Cry I ever played was the first one. I just never got into the other ones, but yeah, way back in like 2005.
Jesus.
But I'm interested to see like how they move into like a caveman type space where you're fashioning spears, maybe getting that survival aspect that we see in indie games into a single player experience. I like how they're moving into single player experiences for the AAA space.
And I've read that it's not a trick. There are no guns in the game, from what I understand. So it's all going to be chucking spears.
There's
or maybe
no guns at all.
Bows. And...
I wonder if they pull like a Far Cry Blood Dragon, where they make like a
just totally whack
Far
job.
Cry Velasa laser.
Yeah, maybe. Mitch, did you play Far Cry at all?
No, not at all. But this one looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. I might pick this one up. Any game with dinosaurs in it, like I was a big Turok fan back in the day.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So this reminds me of Turok a lot, and I was like, shit.
Something that they're gonna have to make sure to get right is the pet AI, because from the trailers and gameplay footage,
can I have a pet dinosaur?
It looks like you control like pet like leopards and stuff like that. I don't know about dinos.
So close to making it a day one buy.
Dude, go play some fucking Ark if you want a pet dino.
Yeah.
In either case, because like Ark is cool because you can tame dinosaurs, but the AI blows ass. It's very clunky, and like a studio that's going to release a Far Cry Primal triple indie title is obviously going to be a bit more polished. So as long as they make the pet AI smooth, responsive, makes sense. Not Fallout 4 style.
That's what I'm saying. We hope the AAA industry will make.
You would like to think. Well, it's definitely going to reflect upon the game, especially when it looks like the gameplay definitely evolves pretty heavily around that aspect. So yeah, here's hoping.
Should be a sweet game. Be a sweet game. February 23rd. Make sure you pick it up.
Going along with that dinosaur theme, that Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh my God, this game. This game is incredible. There's no release date yet. It's only coming out for the PS4, but I got 2 words for you. Robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, dude.
Do either one of those words excite you? If so, this is the game for you.
They
Chris, give me your feelings on it.
I don't even have a PlayStation 4. Is it coming only PlayStation 4? Is it
only
like a PC?
PlayStation 4.
I might have to go. It's a game.
Chris, you gonna come over my house?
Yeah, with slumber party.
Oh, gay.
Buy some DiGiorno's. We're going all night with this bitch.
Yeah.
I really want to play it. You're hunting. I just love, like I said, I like single player games. I'm a single player. I like the world that it builds where you're in I don't know, this post-apocalyptic world with sentient robot animals that you're hunting. And she feels bad, like in the trailer, she feels bad for hunting them. And I don't know, it's just like, it really feels put together. Like everything in that game, like, has a purpose. Like the grass in the plains you could hide behind. Everything feels connected in that game, and I really want a piece of it.
Yep.
It looks cool. It looks like it might be interesting. Cool combat, like where you hit the enemies matter. Kind of very, very, very classic gamey. Like try to get at their vulnerable spots in between their armor. Almost with like, weird, exploding arrows and stuff.
Like a weird Monster Hunter.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yep. We also have other games coming out. We have Mass Effect Andromeda. That's coming out later this year, about December. That's coming out for all the consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Another Mass Effect title. That's pretty exciting. I tried to play the first one. It was just too old. I can't play it. It's just too old.
Is it exciting for you, Mitch? Like the Mass Effect? I don't know if you like the RPG. I liked the first one, the first Mass Effect. Like I said, I didn't get to start the second one. I'm not going to play the third one because it's only on the Origin. I don't have an Origin account.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it. It seems like EA's cashing in like they usually do. The sequelitis kind of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, we have more. It's coming out in December, and there's really not much spoiled about it yet, so hard to formulate an entire opinion on it. But Dakota, thoughts?
I haven't played a Mass Effect game since the first one. I played and beat the first game, but I never played the second nor the third. I heard the second one was kind of the best. Is that
That's
true?
what I've been told as well.
Consensus is. That's what I heard from some of my friends.
I played like the first 30 minutes to 60 minutes of the third one, and it just didn't capture me at all. I don't know, man. Like I love RPGs. American RPGs are totally cool with me too. I'm not really a space guy, I don't think. I think I'm more classic fantasy or maybe some post-apocalyptia. Space is not really my jam. I don't know.
Dude, I'm a space guy, and that shit didn't get me either. So
is that right?
All right, so we got the last game, like single-player game coming out. A game I'm very excited about. This game called Firewatch, coming out on the PC and PS4 February 9th, so right around the corner. This game is incredible. You basically are in Wyoming in like 1989. And you have like a tower in like a national forest, and you're just exploring the surrounding area, and you're like uncovering clues. And it's just, first of all, graphically looks incredible.
It's cool. It's not like high def, right? It's got kind of a pastel-y artistic.
Yes, exactly. It's got a I can't think of it. I can't think of the name. I can see the game in my head, but I can't think of the name. But yes,
it's like cel-shaded, kind of Wind Waker-ish, but not cartoony.
Yes, exactly. Definitely check out the trailer if you haven't. The game looks amazing. So let's talk about this, guys. There's like almost no IPs. There's a lot of sequels, but there's no IPs. Like, what's going on? No new IPs. Is this just something that we have to deal with, or what's going on here?
It's kind of typical, the industry. It's just like the movie industry. They're going to lean, especially the larger studios, going to lean on a sure deal for money. So you're going to see a lot of sequels. I think there are a good number of original IPs. I came in earlier this week when we were whipping up the show notes. I was thinking that there weren't a lot of original games, but there are. And we still have a couple more single player games to mention that we'll mention later in some different discussion topics. But there are a lot of good original games. We've got No Man's Sky coming out. We've got some sweet indie titles coming out. We mentioned already a couple. I think it's going to be pretty good, honestly.
I think it's going to be a good year. I'm excited.
Yeah, we've got Horizon, so Overwatch is a new IP as well, even though it's multiplayer. But I think it's good.
I think a lot of the new IPs we're seeing more in the multiplayer space rather than the single player space.
Yeah.
Like you said, we got the Overwatch. We have a whole slew of new MOBAs, right? And then we can get into that.
Well,
later,
let's not get into those then. Let's save it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're just talking about single player wise. Single player wise, we're just in sequel land. That's just what it feels like.
Yeah.
Just seems like in the single player land, we're just sequel. Like you said, like trying to cash in. Let's hope. I mean, like this Firewatch game looks great. Horizon looks great. Let's hope that maybe these new games kind of change the tune a little bit. But
sometimes the studios will take a leap, sometimes they won't. You know what I heard recently was there's a rumor going around that the next Assassin's Creed is going to be set in Egypt, and some cunning Redditors dug up some old footage of some leaked gameplay from this game that Ubisoft was supposed to come out with a long time ago, set in like ancient Egypt, but it wasn't Assassin's Creed. So it looks like they've retooled possibly that game into an Assassin's Creed game because they know the name sells, And so they're going to.
Gross. That's gross.
On the other hand, to their credit, Watch Dogs began as an Assassin's Creed game, and they decided to spin off a new IP. So I don't know. It feels like whatever they're. Some days they're feeling it. Some days they're
Dota
not.
began as a Warcraft use map settings game. So can we really be upset? You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, you get good things from all places. Who knows? Sometimes you get the balls.
Let's talk about. I mean, this, at least for Dakota and I, this is the next one on the docket for us. The big game coming out. We got WoW Legion. I know we had a whole episode on WoW Legion during BlizzCon, but geez, World of Warcraft Legion coming out on PC and Mac this summer.
Sometime.
What are our thoughts on another WoW expansion?
It's been like
Christopher,
11 years since the first, or 10?
Yes, I think over 10. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it's. I don't know if it's run its course because it's still going, and that kind of game, like the graphic style is timeless. Really, they updated it.
It really is,
and it's still like, I mean, it used to be clunky. It's still a little clunky, but it gets, it's acceptable. It looks nice, and like a lot of those landscapes are gorgeous. They look really like fantastical and fantasy. It works really well there. Mm-hmm. I think it'll pull me in at least for a little while. I haven't played WoW since Wrath of the Lich King. I played the first 3 expansions. But I think I'm going to go into it because there's been so much change that's happened in this game series. It's something that's familiar to me in a certain way, but it seems like it's been such a long time that, I mean, there's enough different to draw me back. And I think that they have a lot of that. Maybe they have a lot of me out there. You know what I mean? They've been dropping a lot of player base.
Sure.
But
would anything about the game bring you back? Would you play it?
Like I said, mostly I don't really want to play because I don't have time to play that game. But I really want to go into it mostly because of how long it's been, and I just miss the Warcraft universe is more what it is. So it's
Wait a minute.
To me, it's more almost like what?
Are you saying you're going to play this game?
Yeah, I might. I
Ooh.
may. Right. I might jump in because I haven't played anything in the Warcraft universe for a while. And
these legendary weapons have got me by the balls, man.
Know.
They just
it's just everything.
They just were like,
things.
God, they just got me with it. Honestly, you know what really sold me though was that fucking cinematic. We're actually playing it right now, so if you haven't seen it, you can always watch the episode later. But That opening cinematic just blew my mind. First of all, you got that Infernal attacking the ship. You've got Sylvanas, which, God,
oh yeah,
it's just great. This is great. They just suckered me into it, and the legendary weapons have got me by the balls. As a druid, anything that's going to change my bear form into a cooler bear form, I'm all about.
Yeah.
So like they just knew exactly what I wanted and they gave it to me.
Chris, you mentioned the graphics are timeless, and like the art style, right, is cartoony enough to always last. Almost like 16-bit still looks good because it's not high fidelity, and the graphical choices that they made early on with Warcraft are the same. And even still, they are, especially this expansion, doing a lot to make everything just look a little better. They're saying, okay, the textures, the polygons, they're a little low, they're a little smudgy. We'll make everything look just a bit better. They're doing work on the UI for the first time in fucking years.
Oh, amazing.
Really cool looking work. Everything looks smooth. They're redoing a lot of combat animations to make especially melee feel a little bit more impactful. So they know that they've got to do a bit to kind of keep up with the times, which is cool, man. I'm excited. I'm stoked. I play melee, so I'm especially stoked about the animation revamp.
Yeah,
and it
looks good.
Yeah, Something Meow says in chat, he's gonna play it, but he'll probably for a couple months, then it'll fall off. That's where I'm at too. I've kind of admitted to myself at this stage of my life that I will always play WoW as long as they are releasing the game and it doesn't look like complete shit. And this expansion does not look like complete shit. It doesn't look like.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been this excited for a WoW expansion in many years, many expansions. So there's that. On the other hand, I know I'll get bored with it after so long, so it'll do its job.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm
okay with that.
How long does a game have to hold your attention to be worth your money, right? I know I will be playing WoW Legion for 4 or 5 months. That's plenty of time for me to purchase a game. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
Come on,
I'm down.
Yeah,
I think.
All right, Chris, this next game. This is a game that you actually told us about. We did not know about it. You informed us on it. This game called Cuphead. It's coming out for the PC and the Xbox One. This game looks pretty fucking awesome if you haven't seen it. No release date announced yet, but it looks pretty cool. Definitely go check it out. But let's talk about this, guys. Are we going to be seeing more indie games coming out on the horizon here of 2016? Is this going to be the year of indie games?
What do you think, Chris?
Year of indie games. I don't know if it'd be the year of indie games, but I definitely think over the past couple of years, indie games have cemented themselves in the gamer consciousness. Like, we know the indie market, right? We look to both big studios and little studios, and there's almost, for some people, there's a merging of both, right? Like Rocket League. Some people get on to play Rocket League and then get off and go play, they'll go play League of Legends. Which also kind of you could consider itself an indie company, right?
Kind of.
And then go off to play, WoW Legion.
It's funny you mentioned the two leagues. You mentioned the Man League, Rocket League, and you mentioned the Boy League, League of Legends.
That's why I went there.
Yeah, so that's our inside joke here. I'm always like, I'm playing League, and Dakota's always like, which league, Man League or Boy League? And I'm like, Boy League. I'm playing Boy League. He's like, come play Man League with us. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, what are your guys' preferences between indie titles and AAA titles? Christopher, what are your preferences?
Well, I mean, whatever's good. Really?
Yeah.
That's the best answer. That's the answer.
I play whatever's good. That's why I'm looking so forward to Cuphead. That's why it was my anticipated game of last year, because it's got a 1920s cartoon style. Like what game
it looks
have you
rad,
seen?
man.
It looks
unbelievable.
It looks really
cool. It
cool.
looks hard as all get out.
It's like Steamboat Willie bullet hell where you're shooting back.
Exactly. Oh my god, it looks great, and that's what I like.
Looks awesome.
I like how they take, they take a lot of risks in that space, and that's why I feel like a lot of people are really excited for No Man's Sky, also in the indie space, right? A lot of risks that you can take in that.
Yeah, for me,
Dakota,
I'm the same way. Quality is quality, like money, production value in a game. It kind of just means less and less to me. As long as the game is good, even as far as story is concerned, you can deliver epic, meaningful, emotional story with all sorts of money, a lot of money, a little bit of money. Think about like some of the older Final Fantasy titles back in 16-bit. Braid, you guys have played Braid, right?
Great game.
Braid was
great fucking game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Braid was by a man named Jonathan Blow. I love his name, Jonathan Blow. And it was just a 2D platformer with some really really unique, innovative mechanics. But the story it told was so deep,
also amazing,
amazing. It was great. And it was just a dumb platformer as far as gameplay is concerned.
Well, it was really interesting, though.
Yeah, dumb is selling it short. I mean, I just want to emphasize how it wasn't like some huge thing. It wasn't a AAA anything. Right. It wasn't in 3D. It wasn't high poly graphics. It was sprite based. So the format really doesn't matter to me as long as the game is good. I'm down. And I do think that we're in an era of indie games.
I think so as well. I mean, I think Minecraft really kicked it off for everybody. That game just soared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And Notch is like the biggest thing in the world right now.
The guy's got millions of dollars, man.
He's got millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's like YouTube in the home video like surge that took off when YouTube became mainstream. Anybody can make a video. Anybody can make a video game now. You've got tools like Unity and other things like it where anybody can make a video game, and that's that. Like the tools are there, so anybody can do it. My 10-year-old niece came up to me the other day and asked me if I could help her use an iPad app to make video games. And there was like an app that helped you make little sprite-based games, and you like drug around units of programming. Like you drug a for loop in, and then you stuck a procedure in the for loop, and it was like, this is awesome. Like my 10-year-olds,
amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. All right, Chris, you talked about this next game that's coming out. It is a game that I have been looking forward to for quite some time. It's the reason I own a PS4. I'm talking about No Man's Sky. This game is coming out in June. Holy shit, it feels like it's been forever, but it's coming out in June. Now, it hasn't been confirmed that it's a virtual reality game. We have a game called Edge of Nowhere, no release date for that yet. That's been confirmed a virtual reality game. That's going to be released this year, but no exact release date yet. But, I mean, 2016 seems like it's going to be the year of mainstream virtual reality.
Oh, definitely.
Is this going to be a real thing, or is this just going to be a gimmick? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on it? Dakota, I'm going to point it all the way over at you first.
I'm a believer, man. I am a believer in the VR, for sure. People that I trust, podcasters, like industry people that have covered the topic, have said it's good, and also impressed upon how it's hard to convey how good it is in videos or demonstrations or stuff like that. So when shit like the PlayStation Experience VR demo falls flat on its face, I just say, okay. I mean, we say in the development industry, when you're going to demo something, you got to sacrifice something to the demo gods. Those guys did not sacrifice to the demo gods, obviously.
They didn't.
But I still trust. I'm definitely going to buy PlayStation VR as soon as it comes out, especially if No Man's Sky turns out to be VR. That will be the absolute first thing I fucking put on my head.
I'm the exact opposite with you. I don't believe VR is ready yet. After seeing that PlayStation demo, I was completely confirmed that it is a piece of trash garbage. And I'm praying to the gods of whatever I need to pray to that No Man's Sky is not a VR title, because if it is, I'm going to have to get it, and I'm not excited about that.
I mean,
Chris, where are you at on the VR?
You won't be forced to do the VR, right? Like,
but I will.
I like VR. Okay, we aren't where we need to be for VR to play the game like they wanted to do on that PlayStation 4 demo with the people throwing the discs around.
Yeah,
like we're not in the Tron era.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But I love the idea of that Oculus Rift, that mask, just to be able to look around. That kind of immersion, I think already that's what we're ready for right now. And I think if we just like start making games in that kind of space, the other stuff will start to come naturally. I think we're ready for the VR helmets for that view, and I'm really looking forward to games with that. I'm going to get an Oculus Rift hopefully whenever it's released for PC and stuff, and more games are with that, like especially horror games. Oh, God.
Oh yeah,
like unbelievable.
Dakota, you and me can't do that. We can't do that shit.
Never gonna play a horror game, especially. Oh my god, I would pee my pants.
Looking
dude.
over your shoulder, like.
Oh god, nope,
Yeah.
nope.
Yeah. I would run into a wall with the VR helmet on. That would just happen for sure. No, the game looks amazing though, regardless of whether or not it's VR. No Man's Sky looks incredible. Graphically, looks just amazing. The soundtrack, amazing.
Sweet. Oh yeah, who's it by? It's by
I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
It's by a math rock band. Fuck, can't remember it right now. Hello
Anyways,
Games. Yeah,
by a math rock band.
Indie studio. They did a lot of good work. They actually denied help from Sony as far as developers. Sony, when they began to see how awesome this game was and put money behind it, they're like, "Hey, want some developers?" And they're like, "No, we're good." Then they wanted to keep their team small. They wanted to keep it intimate, and I really hope that game is what we hope it is. That's for damn sure.
I hope it's the bee's knees. All right, guys, let's move on to this. We were talking about it before. Multiplayer games are in full effect.
Yeah.
And nothing short of this is a game that we all played, that we all love. Well, that some of us loved.
We all
loved
loved
Overwatch.
We all loved Overwatch.
So, Chris, very importantly, I want to know, is this a day one buy for you? Are you going to pick this thing up
right
on the
away.
first day that it comes
I already
out?
pre-ordered the
Nice.
extra edition.
I heard there were quite a few maps, so you don't have to worry about that.
Listen,
You know,
you can bring this up. You're the one who brings it up every episode. Okay, I have no problem with my stance, with my man stance. You could go along with all the little people to preschool Babyland buy every game place. I'm gonna stand on my own man legs and unshaven.
So let's talk about this. Guys. So a lot of studios dipping their toes in this MOBA FPS, this TF2 style game. I mean, are we overloaded here? Are we just thinking that this is now just a phase, or what's going on here?
I think a big thing happened last year that's kind of creeping over in a better way this year, where a lot of studios tried to do the multiplayer only titles. Right? We saw the Evolve. We saw the
oh my god!
Titanfall. We saw the Rainbow Six that came out. They aren't really working as well as they planned because Battlefront. Because you'd think that, oh great, they're taking away the single player and they're putting all their effort into a multiplayer experience. And you know what? I am fine with that if they do it well. But it seems like they just took out the single player experience and gave us a half shitty multiplayer that they don't deal with fast enough.
Well, it depends. Battlefront, that's true. There was no single player, and the multiplayer was super shallow. Not a lot of content, not a lot of maps. People maxed out on weapons really quickly. That game was another utter failure. But are they all like that?
Most of them were. Titanfall. Yeah. Who's playing Titanfall?
That's
Who's
true.
Playing Evolve?
Good point.
I think that game just. The game idea was cool, but it was real boring. It got really repetitive.
That's what I feel.
I'm in a robot. No, I'm not. I'm in a robot. No, I'm not.
That's what I feel.
There was no dynamic gameplay like Counter-Strike or something like that. Something that you can play over and over again.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of a multiplayer-only game, and I'm glad that I feel like they got that out of their system, the industry, of the multiplayer-only idea, and I think they're trying to refine it, because they know that there's a market. A lot of people bought these games, but I feel like the critical reception of them wasn't where they wanted it. So I think we're going to see a lot of better games in that space, like Overwatch, for instance. I really like it. I'm not going to buy it right away because I still don't know what they're going to do right off the bat, but I really like the game. I love the way it plays. It's gorgeous. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if it'll hold. To me, it would be a Titanfall as it stands right now. There's not enough to hold me. I like all the MOBAs in the space. What about you guys? What do you feel like in the multiplayer space this year?
Well, it really strikes me as odd because we've got a bunch of these studios developing these MOBA-like first-person or third-person games, but none of them are out yet, right? Battleborn, Paladins, Overwatch,
Paragon.
Paragon. I think there's another one that I can't remember too. It's so weird that all of the industry has kind of jumped on this bandwagon at the same time, but not because they were following the success of something in particular. Usually you've got something out in front, like when WoW came out. and said, look, this is how successful an MMO can be. And everybody goes, oh, I can do that too. And they made one. It's not like that this time. What game are these games emulating? I'm confused, honestly.
I was in the same boat as you. Like, they're kind of emulating the success of like League and Dota being like big hitters.
Yeah,
and
but they all had the same idea
arena,
to kind of twist it into a first-person Twitch experience.
I think it's they're taking the reason that PC gaming lived through that PC game dry spell. There was a long period where console games were like crushing the Xbox 360 era. There wasn't a lot coming out for PC. Things were imported there. So we had a game like League come out, and we had the StarCrafts. We had these really competitive multiplayer games that were they were able to capture everybody's attention because of how tight they were. And I feel like that community, and everybody saw how much that people wanted to keep playing those multiplayer games for years on end as long as they're good. And I think that led the way to this kind of idea that, we got to move into this multiplayer-only space and see what's keeping all those people on PC and made it kind of booming back to where it is now.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
also,
they
also
know
coming
that,
out is...
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. They recognize that the console space is largely dominated by first-person shooters. Black Ops, I think, was the highest selling game of the holiday season.
Oh yeah.
It always is one of the highest selling games, and so they recognize that there's a lot of white space to kind of capture as far as sales are concerned. So they say, okay, well, we got the best of the PC world. PC is kind of dominated by the MOBA scene. And the FPS scene. It's funny how FPS, though, has kind of moved from PC to console, right? Black Ops and Call of Duty is fucking everything to console gamers. And if you look on Twitch will tell us that League of Legends is everything to PC gamers. So it's interesting that all these studios had the same idea to kind of merge best of both worlds and give us all these new games. So
did you guys hear about the news? I feel like this is going to be a big player in the multiplayer space in the coming year. How Activision bought MLG.
Yes. Yeah. So, obviously,
oh shit.
Esports is big right now, man. Everybody believes in it.
But we're going to see so many Call of Duty tournaments. They're going to push that down everyone's throat. And you're going to see Heroes of the Storm tournaments because it's Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
You're going to see all
wow.
these Activision
I'm going to see
games,
so many 360 no-scopes. Oh my god. So many 360 no-scopes. Yep, 360 no-scopes sponsored by Doritos. Here we go. All right, also coming out, just really quickly before we move on, also coming out as far as a multiplayer game is concerned, Tom Clancy's The Division, PS4, Xbox One, PC, coming out March 8th. My roommate is very excited about this game, as well as a lot of other people. Game looks really, really good.
Looks interesting.
I just don't know if it's going to be as good as some of the other games coming out. We'll see.
It's different. It's more of an RPG experience set in kind of a real world, which I think is an interesting twist. So, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't realize it was so close.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so close too. My roommate is the person who actually led me onto it. Okay, guys, this is a game we're all excited about, and when I say we're all, I don't mean just like me, you, Dakota, and Nanners. I mean everybody. Like, we're all excited about this game.
World.
Pokemon Go on the mobile here.
Go.
Holy what the fuck. This is like everything we've dreamed of as 12-year-olds playing Pokemon Red and picking Bulbasaur because you guys are wrong if you didn't. Like, it's real life Pokemon. It's great. I can't wait for an announce date for this game. But more importantly, where do we see Nintendo in this whole thing? Like, how much are they really investing into this? Like, it seems like it could be a lot, or it seems like it could be a little. And honestly, based on that number is how good or bad the game will be, in my opinion.
Well, Nintendo is smart about lending their IPs and their licenses to third parties. They did it with Pokemon, with like WotC, Wizards of the Coast, to make the card game. So they can recognize what they find to be a worthwhile investment. But they are kind of stingy about it. So just the fact that they believe in the project makes me believe in the project, because they don't just let anybody do this kind of stuff,
I've been with Nintendo my entire 28
That's true, Chris.
years of existence.
Does she have big flappies or little?
Yeah, I got everything. I'm never able to tell what Nintendo's going to do. And for Pokemon Go, I feel like they're going to take their Nintendo hands-off approach, where they release this and just kind of see what everybody does with it, and kind of release, support it in certain weird ways, like maybe have an event here or there, but not anything what we're expecting, like massive Pokemon trainer battles at like, the bridge down the street or something.
I think they are going to do that, man.
They want to, and I feel like there's going to be a few events that are going to happen, but I think they want to see how the people embrace it first and where they're going to go. I think they're going to be very hands-off at the beginning. Even though it's their first move into moldable space, that's what I see Nintendo doing because it's the weird thing to do.
Okay. I think that you're wrong. I think that they are going to go balls deep. Because right now, like Ingress, the game that Pokemon Go is kind of going to be laid on top of, the augmented reality game. Right now, they have gatherings. They have Ingress tournament gatherings. And I think that Nintendo and the Ingress creators see Pokemon as just a natural extension to this experience they already have. And a lot more people are going to be interested in meeting up to duel and trade Pokemon than they might to capture some fountain in Ingress. I mean, Ingress is cool, and it has its following, and they've already had success with that model. And Pokemon kind of opens that idea up to the mainstream audience.
That's the thing I'm worried about. How... I think everybody's expecting so much. We have no idea really what this game is going to be about, other than comparing it to Ingress. The only information we had is it's made by the people who made Ingress.
Yeah.
And there was that really cool promo trailer that didn't actually show anything. That could have been all a bunch of bullshit.
There was no gameplay.
It showed speculation. Yeah,
right.
Honestly, I am ready to be disappointed by this game.
Are you?
100%, I am ready for it to just let me down and crush my dreams. So that way, if it doesn't, I'm pleasantly satisfied. But if it does, I'm like, well, okay. Did I really expect us to be able to catch Pokemon in real life the way that I want to? No, I didn't.
I mean, you make a good point, though, Mitch. This is a dream that I think anybody that played Pokemon has had for decades. I mean, years and years and years. I remember in how old was I? I remember in 6th grade doing laps in PE, jogging next to my best friend, talking about how awesome it would be if Pokemon was on the N64, and we were designing a game as we did laps in PE, talking, it would be cool to be in 3D and collision would matter with Pokeballs and this and that. We've been dreaming of a more robust Pokemon experience for years. And I don't know, man. I got my fingers crossed. I really do.
Yeah.
What I think
let's move on to a title. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Is that what I think is more interesting is that how it I was going to move on too, how it compares to where Nintendo's going in the mobile space. This is their first foray into the mobile space with Pokemon Go, but they have the Miimoto also coming out. Do you guys know about that?
I don't
know nothing about it.
It looks really boring, and nobody really knows why. Everybody thinks it's kind of just so that, like I said, it's just so Nintendo can put something out there and see how people react to it. You kind of create your own Mii, and I think it's going to work kind of like the Street Pass on the 3DS, where you kind of walk past people, and then you check your phone or something, and then you get something. I didn't really know. It looks just boring. You have a Mii and you get to dress them up, and you get to see other people's Miis.
That sounds like ass.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like
and everybody said everybody's like, all right, this is Nintendo's first. Besides the Pokemon Go, this is their first thing, and everybody's like, why? What is this?
They're strange, man. They can make some odd business decisions for sure.
What else do you see them doing in the mobile space? Where else besides this weird Mii game and Pokemon? What could you think that Nintendo would work well doing with in the mobile space?
That's the thing is they're not. What do they do?
Well, to me, Nintendo, where Nintendo dominates is mobile space, not iPhone mobile, but handheld platform.
Yeah,
mobile.
exactly. That's what I mean.
3DS.
They can make your phone a Game Boy, I guess. But
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Boy?
Game Boy. I think that Nintendo is probably, in my mind, going to move away or focus less, at least, on consoles. They always have so much success in the handheld space with 3DS and all their Game Boy products, but I think Wii U is tracking to be the lowest selling console of theirs of all time.
Well, that had a lot to do with their naming and their release. There's a lot going on that went against them for that.
What do you think they might do to kind of turn that ship around with their next console release? Before you answer, I don't think that they should be releasing new consoles at all. I think they should just go the way of the Sega and just say, hey, let's start making games. I would love to be able to play sweet Nintendo games on other platforms, but I can't because they're only on the Wii U. One that's coming up is Legend of Zelda. I really want to play a new Zelda game, but I really don't want to get a Wii U just to play a fucking game. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to play Smash Brothers, but I'm not going to get a Wii U just to play Smash Brothers. Like,
for sure.
Fuck that. I'll just go to Chris's house and play it all the time.
For sure. And Splatoon 2. I think that when Legends of Zelda come out, actually, that might be the tipping point for me. We'll have Zelda, we'll have Smash Bros, Splatoon. What else is there, Chris? Some exclusives.
That's the thing. Wii U
Bayonetta,
really been
the sequel.
Oh man, I really want to get Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
But Wii U hasn't been supported lately because of the awful release. And it had such good... The party game, Mitch knows. He comes over to my house. You have the one person on the tablet controller and 4 people with the Wiimotes. And there are some amazing 5 vs. 1 or like co-op party games that you could do that people haven't even scratched the surface with. Like... You have a lot of 5 vs. 1 type game models that we could make up, but when you're all sitting in the room and one person has their own screen and everybody else is sharing something, like that's an experience that is unlike any other.
Isn't there like some Wii U game where it's kind of like an endless runner, but it's multiplayer and it's like the last person to last on the runner wins the round? Have you heard of this game?
No, I'm trying to think.
It's probably one of those weird ass Mii games. It sounds right up the alley.
It's not like a Nintendo Mii game, but it's some. It is.
Marketplace.
It is an indie game. Nintendo is always a good platform for like many people on the couch kind of gameplay. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, here I am. I live alone for now. I'm gonna move in with a fiance soon, but I never feel compelled to get a Wii or a Nintendo console because I live alone. Maybe when I have a roommate again, I'll want to buy one, but I don't know, man. They just don't seem to do it for me at all.
Man, that's. I hope that they move on with the consoles. My fanboy in me. That's the one fanboy part I have is for my Nintendos, sure. And I hope that the Nintendo NX they're gonna talk about it this year. No one has any idea what that's going to be. If it's going to be a console, most people think it's going to be some kind of weird mobile platform device, something. I really want to see what they're doing. I do not think they're out of the hardware game yet. I think Wii U was
they should be, honestly.
No way.
They really should be.
There should not
Think about
be.
all these games that we've talked about all night. It's all PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Yep.
Nintendo has their own selection of games. Everything else comes out on everything.
And that's why Nintendo's always
that's what I'm saying.
We could talk about Nintendo a lot. Nintendo's always been the other console that you have. Like, you pick a console, and then you have a Nintendo game, the console to play what Nintendo's doing.
Only recently have they adopted that role. They used to be the only console that mattered.
Not recently, when the Wii came out.
That's what I'm saying.
In like 2006.
What I'm saying is it's only recently that they've adopted the mantle of the other guy. They used to be the guy, the only guy.
I mean, I said, that's not recent. 10 years isn't recent. Like I felt like.
Well, you don't measure consoles in years. You measure them in console generations. It's only in the past 2 consoles that they have taken that statue with the Wii and the Wii U. When the Dreamcast was out, they were right there along with the PlayStation, were they not? I mean, they were viable up until that point, and it was only after that generation that they became the other guy. And it's like, why did they do that? They didn't want to compete with Microsoft and Sony.
They weren't just the other guy. They didn't have like what Nintendo offers is something different with their weird controller scheme. They have the games for the people who want to play games. But I feel like we're moving way off topic.
We are. This is a whole nother episode. So Legend of Zelda coming out on the Wii U to be announced.
Oh my God.
Game looks beautiful. A lot of people are excited about this game. I'm very excited about this game. I'm not going to get a Wii U for it, but I will watch Chris play it sometimes.
All right, let's talk about the last game on our list.
So the last game on our list, Final Fantasy 15.
15.
Coming out in the PS4 and the Xbox One, not the Wii U.
Talk about sequel
no release date for this. No release date for this yet.
Yeah. In fact, I think the director just came out, made another statement saying very flowery Japanese things about how all hard work and stuff has gone into the making of the game, and they really hope to have it out. And he says that his statement was basically, it's coming out in 2016, but if it's not, we tried really hard. So I think it's going to be pretty late. I think it's going to be pretty late in the year. What do you think about it, Chris?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Chris cares as much about Final Fantasy games as I do about buying a Wii.
Wow. Okay, so what do you think about it, Mitch?
I just hope it's not a Final Fantasy 13.
Yes.
I was so let down by that game.
Yes.
I'm weary.
Why?
I really am. I want to get it.
What did 13 do wrong?
It was just boring.
Is this a whole episode worth of content?
No, it was just boring. Like the combat system, I didn't really like that much. It felt very disconnected. It didn't feel as like I get what they were trying to do with it, but it didn't feel as good.
What do you mean it was
as
I've
some of
never
their
played
previous?
It. What do you mean it was disconnected?
You basically you picked like a stance for your character, and then you would like switch to another character and pick another stance, but everything was happening all at once. So you would start fighting, and all of a sudden one of your guys is taking damage. Like, shit, let me switch my healing guy to healing stance, and then it was just it was weird. I don't know. This new one though, however, looks a lot better in my opinion.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
What happens,
it looks gorgeous, but the combat is again a big departure from Final Fantasy. I believe it's complete real time, almost like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
I think
it is. Yes, it is complete real time. Final Fantasy 13 was complete real time. I don't know. I guess for me it was like the stances. What I liked about Final Fantasy was like the moves. Like you got to cast this spell or something like that. And when you played Final Fantasy 13, you didn't really get to do that.
It doesn't
much.
really feel like a JRPG, at least
Exactly.
as far as combat is concerned. It had some really wacky characters. For me, I agree with you, Mitch. I think the game was boring. The characters, dude, they did not speak to me at all, and I think that's super important for a game like that. Like
that was another thing. I did not give a shit about the characters.
Fucking Hope. Was that the kid, the little boy?
Yeah, and Lightning was the name of the main
every
character.
Time he opened his
Lightning
mouth, I wanted to
was the name of the
him.
main character. I was just like, what the fuck are these character names?
Yeah, it was kind of weak. Snow is the other character, voiced by Troy.
Snow, Lightning, and Hope.
Troy Baker voicing Snow is the best part of that game. I don't know, man. I was not able to get through it. And the other big thing that really tore me away from 13 was how linear it was. It did not feel like an open world RPG at all. Well,
no. You couldn't
they never have
explore.
an
It was
open
like
world, but it was
go this
the
way.
maps. The maps were fucking straight lines up. They were like pencils stood upright. That's what the map looked like every fucking time.
Yep.
And that's not how a JRPG map should look like ever.
Not at all. Especially not a Final Fantasy title.
Yeah, it was a big disappointment. So I hope that 15 pulls it around. I won't day one buy it. I will see what people say, but I have high hopes. I would really like to enjoy a Final Fantasy again. It's been a while.
It has been a long time. Just as a side note, it doesn't look like we have a producer dropping some quotes for Final Fantasy VII Remake for the PS4.
Yep.
Doesn't look like 2016's in the cards, which really, really sucks. So I'm hoping that I can use Final Fantasy 15 to bridge the gap.
Bide the time.
But
Bide the time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, guys, let's move on. We've talked about all these anticipated games in 2016. Very excited about a lot of them. Not excited about some of them. Let's move on to the meta bet. All right, Dakota, take us away.
All right, the meta bet is, of course, the game where we bet on the Metacritic score of an upcoming video game. Last week, we didn't bet on anything, did we? We did a group.
Yeah, it was the holiday season.
Yeah, holiday season. Not a lot came out, so we didn't have anything to bet on. No winners or losers, so we took it for the team. All three of us took it for the team and did a team punishment. What we do is when somebody loses the meta bet, we assign them a video game punishment for the week. We did a group activity. This week, we played Duck Game with no attacking, pacifist Duck Game. So for those of you that don't know, Duck Game is an arena PvP game, at least
2D.
Visually. Yeah, 2D. It's kind of like Smash Bros. There's like platforms floating in the air, but unlike Smash Bros, it's not a fighter. It's kind of like Soldat. That's a very not well-known game. Soldat was a 2D game. You pick up guns. Most of the weapons are one-shot kills. And it's all about goofiness, really. Fast-paced. Very deadly,
quacking,
very funny.
A lot of quacking.
Quacking. There's a quack button. I think it's the only game in the world to feature a modulated quack button. You
Yeah,
can
there's-
quack.
you-
Not only
yeah,
can
you
you
can-
quack, but you can hold another button to change the pitch of your quack and make music if you're a badass like me.
I made a little bit of music myself.
Did you? Yeah.
yeah.
So we played some Duck Game. We will probably have a video this coming week of our shenanigans. But
We did a lot of shenanigans. We
did
turned
a
them
lot
all
of
the way up.
shenanigans. Yeah. Last week for the bet, we bet on Shooting Stars, which is coming out for the PC, Mac, and Linux. Shooting Stars is it was already released as a mobile title. It's kind of a bullet hell, drenched, as Chris pointed out, in internet memes, Nan cats, lasers, unicorns, rainbows. It looks kind of fun to me. We've got the trailer playing on the stream, so you can check it out there. For a recap, our bets were me at the bottom with 76, Mitch right in the middle, 70. Excuse me, Chris at the bottom, 69. I'm in the middle with 76. Mitch is up top with 77.
I thought I was going to be low, and I ended up being the high
highest.
score.
Yeah, I think we did good with our bets, going low with this game. It looks fun, but it doesn't look like the kind of game that's going to rack in the high
it was
review
ported
scores.
from mobile, so
It is a mobile port.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
today, the day of release, based on 5 critic scores,
come on, shit.
Shooting Stars has a score of 74, making me the winner, and Chris is the loser.
For real?
Chris
Who likes
is the
this
loser.
game? Like, honestly,
A lot of people think it's a day one buy, Chris.
I'm not even mad. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just disappointed.
So Chris,
Christopher.
what are you playing?
Well, I was going to go into StarCraft. I haven't touched the multiplayer of that yet.
Haven't touched the multiplayer. What race do you like?
In the original StarCraft, I played TOS, and this one I like Terran.
You like
But
Terran?
I haven't played like multiplayer for StarCraft in like 3 years, so it could be anything.
It's been a while. I don't know enough about
You can make me
StarCraft.
go like all land units, all air units.
Oh, that's a good idea. I was gonna make you go all one race, but that's less interesting. I like those ideas too. All land, all air. What do you think, Mitch?
I think that this got funny.
Wow.
I think that every time you play, you have to wall yourself in to wherever you are, and only use air units. I think that's and you gotta like wall it in too. Like nothing can leave, only air units. Like you have to build your buildings so you
Alright,
have
so
a wall.
Yeah, you would
Yes.
have to go bunker,
Yes.
right? Bunker Terran. Okay.
Well, no, I mean you can make it work. Like if it looks like a wall, it's a wall.
If it looks like a wall, it's a wall.
I'm okay with that idea. We'll go with that. We'll start the bet on the next game for next week. If anybody in chat has any better ideas than ours, feel free to let us know. This week we are going to bet on a game coming out a week from today. That game is That Dragon Cancer. A little bit of a somber note. That Dragon Cancer is a game made by I think a husband and wife whose child died of cancer after surviving terminal cancer for like 4 years longer than he was supposed to. So next week it drops for the PC and the Ouya for all those out there playing their Ouyas.
Oh my god, who played Ouya?
I think they had like an exclusivity deal with the
That's out
Ouya to try to
for
promote.
Tom over there with your Ouya.
Yeah. Tom
Keep it up.
and his Ouya.
Hey Tom, Tom, send us pictures of you playing your Ouya, man.
We don't
So,
know Tom, by the way.
You guys will be betting on what the Metacritic score for That Dragon Cancer will be next week. I've got my number written down, so go ahead.
Oh God, it's a cancer game. So if I vote too low, I'm gonna go to
You're
hell.
a fucking dick.
Oh God, I wonder if every Metacritic is gonna feel the same way. Like this is a cancer game. I can't vote low on this. Oh God. Okay,
I got my score.
I have my score.
All right, we will enter them into the chat in 3, 2.
I'm not
Oh,
ready
whoa,
for
whoa, whoa,
chat.
whoa, whoa, whoa!
Okay.
Get ready.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
everybody
I'm
in
ready.
chat.
Yeah.
3, 2, and 1. Okay. Wow.
Chris with the good guy score.
Chris has got-
Jesus.
so Christopher's
I went
not.
for my double ribbon.
Yeah,
Score.
Christopher's not going to hell. He's got the double cancer ribbon 88. Mitch, Jesus,
I only
Christ.
have one ribbon.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna beat it faster than you guys are.
Yeah.
Got 2 ribbons.
Mitch is in the money position. He cannot lose with 1 cancer ribbon with 80. And I'm the dickhead going to hell. I've got 79. I don't think this is going to be a good game.
I heard somebody play it like a while ago, and they were really moved by it, and they said it was a great experience. So I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be
Nice.
like a really important piece that people are going to want to play.
All right. Well, we will see next week. In the meantime, it looks like, Chris, you are going to be playing Wall Yourself Off All Air Units in StarCraft this week. I hope you enjoyed. That's right, Wallcraft 2. That's about it for the MetaBet.
Oh, man. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. If you've never been to Bit Cultures, definitely check it out. We have articles, we have videos, we obviously have podcasts. Make sure you go in there, take a look at it, find something you like, send it over to us. If you see anything you like and you want to comment on it, you can send it over to us. If you have anything that you're doing in the gaming industry, whether it's arts and crafts, recording music, I don't know, telling jokes, whatever you want to do, send it over to us. If we like it, we will.
You got some good video game jokes for us? We'll read them on the air.
Yeah, we'll read some video game jokes on here. No, if we like your shit, we will judge your shit seriously, and then we'll put it on here. So send us your shit. We want to see your shit. And again, not literal shit. We do not want literal shit. But any of your creative stuff, send it our way. We'll take a look at it. If you want to get in contact with us, there is shit all over our overlay for how to get in contact with us. If you're not watching the stream, it will be in the show notes. But talk to us. We're cool guys. We're very understandable. We're very reasonable. We can make fun of Chris. I'll email you about Chris and how stupid he is. That's fine.
I'm pretty stupid.
But yeah, other than that, if you guys have any other episodes. Oh, by the way,
any other episodes?
We do record every Tuesday live, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to, come hang out with us in the chat, you can be a part of it. You can make fun of us. You can tell me I said something stupid. You can count how many times I say definitely. You can help us with the MetaBet. We always love that.
We need a lot
if
of
not,
people to
we
count
post them.
definitely's.
Yeah, we post all of our episodes on Thursdays on both iTunes, which there'll be a link for that in the show notes, and we post it on Podbean. Is that the other one?
Yes.
So all the links will be there. Take a look at it. I have nothing more to say. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say?
Nope.
Hey, Happy New Year, everyone.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, everybody!
New Year.
Wow, you guys are
Thanks for joining.
Oh yeah, last time you said
thanks
Merry
for.
Christmas.
Well, we don't have 2
Happy
cancer
holidays.
ribbons. We're not running around with cancer
unbelievable.
ribbons. It's just spare.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go play some video games. If you guys have anything else you want to say to us, shoot us an email. Until next time, I've been Mitch. This has been Chris and Dakota. This has been Analog Stick Radio. See you next week.
Later.
Later.